Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining me. My name is Judas Racino, a territory manager at Major Wire. Major Wire is a manufacturer of high vibration screen media, woven wire screen cloth, and modular panels with high vibration wire. We service the construction aggregate industry, the mining industry, and the recycle industry, just to name a few. But today, I'm excited to talk to you about Major Wire's vibration analysis sensor. Major Wire has developed a device that our dealers, their technicians, end users, and their maintenance staff will be able to use to capture vibration information in real time and on site. The sensor is a simple and valuable tool that I could have used multiple occasions in my career in the industry. Early on in my profession, I was in maintenance. I then moved on to plant management and ultimately was a sales rep for a major U.S. equipment manufacturer of crushing and screening equipment. And I can speak testimony to the fact that I could have used this device multiple times at any segment of that career. What the device does: the device captures G-force, stroke, RPM, the orbit of a screen box, and any movement front to back or lateral in real time on site without having to shut the machine down. Now, without having to shut the machine down is important for a couple reasons. One, because we don't want to stop production, but two, because of the time it takes to even prepare the machine to take the test. Again, in my career when I was an equipment salesman and when we'd sell a piece of equipment, part of our sales cycle was to go back and perform maintenance checks on the machine to make sure that it was operating properly, that it was meeting the specifications required in G-force, stroke, RPM to get the G-force it was needed to produce its optimum performance. Now, this is how we used to do it. We'd go out to a site, we'd ask the plant manager, could he shut down the machine or give us a small amount of time so that we could check the machine. So that means number one, we had to stop the machine. We'd stop it and we'd clean a spot in all four corners for us to make some measurements and some drawings. So we have to clean the boxes off, whether you were in a wet operation or a dry operation. You wipe them off, clean them off. And you guys that are old school out there, you remember this. We'd take a piece of paper, tape it to each corner of the box. Then we'd ask the operator to put the machine back in operation under normal operating conditions. So that would be loaded. We might do two tests, both loaded and empty, which means more time. But when the machine is in operation and the screen is running and your piece of paper is taped on the side of the box and in motion, you would take your pen and touch the screen box sidewall so that it would ultimately form a lobe. You may do this in several spots in the same corner. So on and so forth. You'd move to the next corner and the next corner and the next corner. Then you would gather information about the electric motor that's running the screen box, the RPMs of that, the measurements on the sheaves that guide the belt that drive the action between the electric motor and the screen box. Once you have all that information, I take that information, go back to my office, scan that information into a file, send that file to our team of engineers at our manufacturing office, and then people far smarter than myself would analyze that information and tell us if that piece of equipment was operating as it was spec'd out and designed to do. So that was a lot of work to come up with information that this device can give us in a matter of minutes. So you can see why I'm excited about the device. Now, the way the device works. The device is one part physical, one part software. Major Wire has developed an app. It is on the App Store. It's available for iOS and Android. Free to download. It has multiple features that I'd love to talk to you about at another time. But today I want to talk about the device and the app and working in conjunction. So how do we actually test the vibration of a machine? Well, what we do is, with the machine in operation, we've already downloaded the Major Wire app. We've opened the app. We've gone to the section related to the sensor. And when we open that part, the app will ask us a series of questions that we'll be prompted to answer. And they're fairly simple questions. Most maintenance staff and plant managers should be able to answer them on site. But we open the app. It asks us a first question about the location you're at, the screen box you're on, and that's important for both plant managers and dealers that you can identify what test you're taking. So if you're testing the West Tower screen box 3, you could put that in the report so that you could find it later. But you enter that information, the type of application you're in, more importantly, the screen box that you're using. We have a drop-down list for multiple screen boxes. You enter that information primarily, and then you enter some information specific to your application. So that would be things like the opening of the top deck screen media, the opening of the middle deck, the opening of the bottom deck, and what type of media you're using. For instance, if you're using a heavy gauge woven wire on the top deck and a modular panel in the bottom deck, obviously the weights of those two are different, and our software needs to understand those weights to be able to perform the calculations to determine if the G-force is correct. So we put that information in, then we approach the box and actually physically get ready to take the test. Like I said, no need to stop the box. The box continues to operate. Hopefully it's operating under normal conditions, means it's running at its capacity. You take your device, you take the phone with your software. When you get to the screen where it says Start Test, it will give you 5 buttons to select from. And those buttons represent one corner of the screen box, and then what we call the inclination, or how the box actually sits in relation to its angle. So you go to the first button you'd see could be feed in left side or left feed. So you go to the feed in on the left hand side, attach the sensor to the screen box sidewall. Now there is a method to doing that. What I typically say, and there's some links that we can post that give information on PDF exactly how to do it for review. But what we typically advise that is the rails that may run up the side of the box is to attach the sensor to about mid-box and then bump it up against the rail so that it orients itself level. And then while it's on there running and doing its thing, you actually push Start Test. It'll take approximately a minute, probably not even that long. And then that button will say Test Complete. You remove it, so on and so forth. You go to the next corner, attach it first, push Start Test. It'll capture that data until you've completed all 4 corners. Like I mentioned, you also have to get the inclination. That being, if you were on an inclined box, you would put it at the top of the box along the rail so that it runs with the same rail, same inclination as the screen box. And at that motion runs, it captures that information. Just about as fast as I described that is how long it takes to do the test. When you've done all 5 buttons on the test screen, you say Test Complete, and that data will upload to our secure database to store the information. That will also email myself a complete report of the screen box. Now, when I say complete report, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I know what every single number on that report is. It's 5 pages. The first page is a summary of all 4 corners with a visualization of the lobe of each corner. And then each corresponding page is a corner of that broken down with more detail and more information. Now, I will say that the best description I have for using this device is that it's more like a flashlight. It helps you see what's going on with your box. We want to help and we want to be as insightful as possible. But ultimately, we want to connect you with the manufacturer of your equipment, because the manufacturer of your equipment understands the exact parameters that the machine was built for, and then the necessary G-force, strokes, RPMs, and orbit it needs to meet that optimum performance. So we certainly look at it with you. We have a team of folks that do not mind looking at it. We can advise, but ultimately we ask that you take this report. You can share it with your manufacturer and say, this is the most current information about my screen box. Am I running within specification? And in most instances they are, but it's a good way to see what you can't see. Obviously these machines run at 800 some RPM. So obviously seeing something out of whack at an 800 RPM machine is hard to do. And that's what this device was developed to do. Now, as I said, once you complete the test, and I may have said this, what I like to say is you'll have a report in your email by the time you get down from the catwalk. Has happened multiple times for us. what we normally do is the test, the results get sent to my email, and then I'll forward them. If I'm with a maintenance manager or a maintenance staff or plant manager, I'll just try to forward it to the group. We can immediately open it up, look at it on our phone. The first summary page does a really good job of just giving you summarization of the information, so you can kind of compare the four corners, look if you see anything outstanding that needs to be addressed immediately. Again, I advise, if we're there for a reason, if you've asked us to perform a vibration analysis, or if you've asked your dealer to perform a vibration analysis, then obviously there may be something you're worried about or concerned with. You can then take that report and delve down into the project a little bit more. We've seen some upside with our dealers where not only do they on the spot help a customer, but also they set up either returning or revolving maintenance schedules with them, so perhaps they have a customer who's just recently purchased a new screen box, and he wants the dealer maintenance staff to check it every quarter for him, so that they compare notes over the quarter and see if there's any changes in the screen box or any necessary thing that jumps off the page that they may be having an issue with. So it's good for that also. It's a good service that dealers and their staff can provide. And end users also, with your maintenance staff, you have the option to have your maintenance staff check your boxes regularly and then produce those reports for your maintenance manager. And then you have them available if you ever have to review the box for any reason it goes down, you want to see if anything changed. We created the sensor primarily to service the customer. We wanted that customer to have immediate access to that information if it was necessary, which is part of why the second reason we created it, because we wanted to make sure that we again sell a high vibration screen media that we want to ensure is performing at its optimum design. So if we spec out maybe a stainless steel thin wire media, and the screen box just does not have the vibration in it that it's designed to be with, that could affect the performance of our screen media. And so we needed to be able to check that. There are actually a couple of instances in which I was able to assist our dealer with some customers in that very instance. We had a customer that we had sold one of our modular panel products to. They were very impressed with it and decided to install a full top deck of our modular panels. We put the deck in. Major Wire's very excited for the opportunity. So we followed it closely, and very short after installation, they let us know that there was a decent amount of pegging that they hadn't experienced before with their previous product. And so we were concerned. We immediately went out to the site, myself and the dealer sales reps, maintenance staff, took a look at everything, crawled all over the box, didn't see anything that was a red flag to what problems we could be having, decided to stick a vibration sensor on the box, and ran our vibration analysis, got the report. We reviewed the report with the dealer. We thought we had an idea of what we were seeing, but our staff did. But again, we advised the end user to send that report to the manufacturer and then review that information with them. And sure enough, the box did not have enough G-force, and then that again affected our vibration, our product, and the ability to relieve the pegging. So we were able to see that only with the device. I don't think we would have been able to see that, at least in the sleek performance way that we were able to do it right there on site and have a report. That's one example. We also had a unique situation in which an end user, through a stroke of terrible luck, had a screen box catch on fire. Now, the only saving grace of that is just prior to that incident happening, our dealer in Texas, McCourt & Sons Equipment, was on site, was sharing information about our vibration analysis sensor, and the customer asked them to go ahead and check a few boxes. Well, within a few weeks, the fire happened, and they realized that they had already checked those boxes. That was important because the screen box sitting directly next to the box that caught on fire did not catch on fire and had no issue that they could visibly see. But they realized they had a report from just a few weeks prior and asked McCourt & Sons to come back, run another report, and let us know if there was any differences that were noticeable. They did, there wasn't, they continued to run. But we can imagine had there been an issue with that box, and we wouldn't have been able to check it in real time like that. Fire it up, check it, see if you notice anything. But if you ran it for a few weeks and then you had a failure, you'd be down a second time for that repair also. So the device has been a game changer for us in the service industry. I have a service background. I can appreciate the sci-fi-ness of it and think that it's cool enough to get out here and talk about it. It was obviously the first thing that I decided to talk about in my post because I can appreciate the design of it and how exciting it is for guys in the service industry. For us at Major Wire, we just look at it as a tool that we hope to help service our dealers, our technicians, and also the end users. The device is available for sale through our dealer network. You could contact your local Major Wire rep. If you do not know who that local Major Wire rep is, you can click on my link tree in the social media platform where you're watching this. Go to MajorWire.com. Major Wire's link there. I'm sorry, MajorFlexMat.com. It's in the link in the link tree. And then search for a dealer in your area and we'll connect you with a dealer. If you can't find them that way, hit me up in the DMs. I'll be able to get you connected with the right dealer and be able to, if that doesn't work, I'll come out myself and help you analyze your device, analyze your screen box. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, click the button. If you loved it, share it. Remember, sharing is caring. This is my first attempt at a tutorial style post. So thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.